Angle 2 and this 52 degrees are vertical angles, which means they're equal. So angle 2 is also 52 degrees. Okay, now another thing I can do to figure out angle 1 is to, I can see that these two make a straight angle, or you could say these two make a straight angle. Either way, subtract that 52 from 180, or we could have done this as well. So that's just another idea. So this is the exterior angle theorem. If you take the two inside angles, the remote interior angles, and add them together, it'll equal that exterior angle. So that's another idea. I'm gonna do that. So that's going to be 128. And again, if you had just done 180 minus 52, you still would have gotten the same thing. So if we had just taken that 52 from 180. So, you know, you got options. There are different ways to do this. Some people find that annoying, but I think it's a bit empowering that you can have different options. Okay, let's see, angle 3. So it's looking like we have another exterior angle situation if we wanted to. So let's take a look. So these two angles would be the exterior angle, and then the 120, I'm sorry, the remote interior angles, and then the 120 would be the exterior angle. Now, since we're missing one of the inside angles, don't forget, normally we would have to add them up so that it would equal 120, but we can't do that because we're missing angle 3. So we'll just work it backwards, and we'll subtract instead of adding them. So we'll take the exterior angle and then subtract one of the interior angles, one of the remote interior angles, and let's see, that's gonna be what, 68 degrees, I think. So that's another option that you have for that, 68 degrees for angle 3. And we're gonna move on to angle 4. This one is easy. So I can easily see that these two are straight angles, so I can just do 120 subtracted from 180, which is just 60. So angle 4 is just 60 degrees. And here we have another set of remote interior angles and an exterior angle. So you can just add those two together, the 60 and the 56, and that'll give you 116. So angle 5 is 116 degrees. All right, next example. Okie dokie artichoke. So for this one, it's looking like my best bet is gonna be to add these two together and subtract it from 180 so I can get this one. This is not an exterior angle, so I won't be able to use that rule per se. So I'm just gonna do 180 and I'm gonna add these two so that I can subtract it from 180. So minus 28 plus 82 and we get 70 degrees. So angle 1 is 70 degrees. Okay, and then we're going to do that. I see that these are vertical angles. So angle 2, use a different color. So angle 2 is also 70 degrees. Okay, since they're vertical, they are equal. And then angle 3, we can use the Angle Sum Theorem, Triangle Sum Theorem, excuse me. So I see that I have that 70 and that 68. So if I add those together and then I take them away from 180, that'll give me angle 3. And we get 42 degrees. Okay, and that's it. Okay, so those were like the less algebraic problems. Now we're going to get into some algebraic type problems. All right, so find the following. We see that we have these two interior angles here, and then they're going to add up to equal the exterior angle. And I think I'm going to switch to blue. Okay, so let's set up that equation. So we're going to add up this one, this one. So, right, the two that were on the inside, and we're going to make them equal the one that's on the outside. So again, add up the two on the inside, make them equal the one on the outside. That's how exterior angle theorem works. And then just solve for x. So you can solve it by hand, or you can go to your calculator and type it in that way, x minus 16, x plus 3. So I'm going to get the numerical solve. Okay, I already forgot what it said. Hold on. Okay, so it was x minus 16, x plus 3. So x minus 16 plus x plus 3 equals x plus 42, comma, oops, that was supposed to be an x. I put times by accident. And then we put comma x after that, and we get 55. All right, I'm just triple checking it to make sure I typed it correctly since I have to keep going back and forth. Looks good. So we get x equals 55. All right, so x equals 55, and then you're just gonna wanna plug it back in. I'm just gonna switch to a different color here. So 55 minus 16, was that 39? So 55 minus 16, yeah. And then I'm just plugging in the 55 for x, guys, as always. 55 plus 3 is 58 degrees, and that was what, angle A? 58 degrees, and then 39 was B. Okay, and then 55 plus 42, that's going to be 97 degrees. Okay. Oh, that was the wrong one, sorry. So this is angle BCD. It's labeled a little strangely. Sorry about that. All right, so this one's 97 degrees because I used the exterior angle, well, I just plugged it in. So now to figure out this guy right here, we could just subtract the 97 from 180. And we get 83 degrees. Of course, you can double check your work. Let me put my little 83 degrees here. You can double check your work by adding up 39, 83, 58, and making sure they equal 180 degrees, which I'm going to do now. Yep, so we're good. Cool. All right, number 3. Angle B is 3 more than 2 times the measure of angle A. Angle B is 3 more. So angle B is 3 more than 2 times the measure of angle A. And then we have, sorry about that. Then we have angle C, which is 7 less, so that's minus 7, then 5 times the measure of angle A. So 5 times A, take away 7. And then we need to find A. Of course, this is just A. All right, so let's set this thing up. So these are all angles, and I actually should have put them inside the triangle since they are angles. So that, you know, that goes there and there. Oops. And that, I guess, kind of goes there. Okay, so A, B, and C are all going to equal 180. So angle A plus angle B plus angle C are all going to equal 180. So since that's the case, I'm going to, you know, we don't have anything special for A, so we're just going to keep that the same. For B, we have 2A plus 3. And then for C, we have 5A minus 7. And they equal 180. So I just took, you know, this, and this to make them equal 180. And then you can plug that into your calculator in order to solve it. So I'm going to solve it by hand because going back and forth gets a little bit extra. Oh, you know what? Let me just do it so y'all can get some practice. I'm going to use an X instead of A. Okay. So again, we have N solve. Okay, so again, I'm going to use x instead of a, so that's going to be x plus 2x plus 3 plus 5x minus 7, 5x minus 7 equals 180, comma x. And we get 23. So x is 23, or in this case a, equals 23. Okay, so that means this is 23 degrees. If we plug in a 23 for the other two, that would be 5 times 23 minus 7. That's 108 for angle C. And then for angle B, 2 times 23 plus 3, and that would be 49. And of course, you need to double check to make sure these will all add up to 180 degrees. Add them all up to make sure they equal 180 degrees. And once you figure out whether or not they do, you're good to go, hopefully. All right, so x was 23. The measure of angle A was 23 degrees. B was 49 degrees, and C was 108 degrees. Okay, so that is that. Number 4. All right, find the following. So same situation. Now I noticed right away that these two sides are congruent. So this is an isosceles triangle, which also means that these two angles here and here are also congruent. All right, so since we know that, this is going to take a little bit of finagling, but this 46, we're going to have to take that away from 180. Okay, so that's going to be what, 134? And then we're going to have to split it in half so we can get the measure of each side, if that makes sense. So that's going to be 67 degrees over here, 67 degrees over here. So that's one option you have. And so that would give you the equation 5x plus 12 equals 67. Okay, so that's one option, right? If that's too much for your brain to handle, that's fine. We still have options. We always have options. So if that is too much for you to think about, if your brain is like, nah, then that's fine. You still can do this. Since these bottom angles are both equal, because, you know, it's isosceles, you can just make this one the same, like that. And then your equation is going to obviously be longer. So you're going to have 46 degrees, or 46, plus 5x plus 12, plus 5x plus 12 again. And guess what it equals? 180, because the whole triangle together, all the angles have to equal 180. So, you know, do whatever makes the most sense to you. Don't be lazy if you don't understand how to be lazy. Okay, so again, we're going to go over here and solve. We have 46 plus 5x plus 12 plus 5x plus 12, comma x. And, uh-oh, messed up. Oh, I forgot to put equals 180. Sorry about that. I gotta type the whole thing again. Come on, I can copy that. There we go. Okay, and I forgot to put the equals 180. So hopefully that helps you. If that ever happens to you, that's what happened. And so we get 11 for x. So x equals 11. Okay, and then of course you just gotta plug it back in. So 5 times 11 plus 12 is gonna give us 67 degrees. And the other side has to be the same. And it's funny because we actually figured out that was 67 degrees without having to do all that extra work, so that's kind of interesting. Classify, did we have to classify the other two? No, classify, but we already know it's isosceles. All right, number 5, find the following. So we have these two, same thing, still isosceles. So that means these